Thanks for joining in on our podcast series with Riyu. We bring in sustainability leaders on our podcast to share their experiences with the audience. Audience are also from the sustainability world. It could be mid-level management. It could be young right outside college graduates who are in the sustainability side of things and leaders like you from the industry as well. So we would want to share and bring this experience wealth of experiences what you would have during your journey. So I would want you to introduce yourself to the audience even before I say start sharing around your experiences, sir.
Good morning, Abhimanyu. Thank you very
Yes.
much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm sure that some of these inputs will go to the younger generation, and it might be a learning point for them.
Yes, sir.
See, I started my journey in 1974, maybe before our World Environment Day was enacted in India after 72, and first act was framed, Water Prevention Control, which is 1974. I'm a biochemical engineer. So this was my first year for biochemical. By the coming to second and third year, I was aware of what is BOD and why the problem is there in India is the treatment of BOD. They basically the pharma waste, sugar industry waste, or distilleries. But I heard those days that most of the people under Professor T.K. Ghosh at IIT Delhi, for the Department of Biochemical Engineering, are working for cellulose degradation. So after completing my BTech in biochemical, when I went to UDCT for my MSc Tech in Pharmaceutical Technology, I told my professor late Tamane, sir, I will not work on cellulose degradation. He said, why? I said, everybody in IIT Delhi is working on it. So I would like to start with lignin degradation. Lignin is an aromatic polymer in between two cellulosic layer. If you take any stamp of a tree, cut it, and you can see the brown layer, that is lignin. And it goes like a black sulfide liquor from pulp and paper industry waste. So I got some sample imported from Sweden. I took our own Indian sulfite liquor from paper industry, degraded into vanillin, converted that thing into flavor which can be used for food and pharma industry. Initiated my PhD at UDCT Bombay. But being the last child of my father, he was for marriage and job. So I resigned and I got job in CPCB, Central
Mhm.
Pollution Control Board. Those days name was very big like South Indian. It was Central Board for the Prevention and Control of Water Pollution. And after 1981 Act of Air, it converted to CPC. So I was the first so-called biochemical or chemical engineer. Otherwise, it was dominated by Neeraj Chaudhary team of civil engineers. I did work on dairy industry, and I sorry to say I was the only young environmental engineer, smart environmental engineer, so-called those days. So Professor G.D. Agarwal, who is no more, everybody knows him. He called me and he said, "You are not fit for this job. Better you go to Pondicherry." And I resigned same day and joined another consulting ICP consulting bureau. But while working there, I did two documents for dairy industry and thermopower industry. I prepared even thermopower MINAS, minimum national standards for CPC. So that was the turning of Yogendra Saxena into environment.
Mm.
From here, I went to I reached to UNDP Jamaica, West Indies. There I developed a 3-year curriculum for chemical technology, environmental technology sandwich course. I was very famous in there for awareness of environment in Jamaica. They used to call me, "Oh, you are the same sexy environment engineer." Sexy because of Saxena name, not because of any other reason.
Yes, sir.
So 6 year I was there.
Okay.
I was teaching EIA. It was a very
Mhm.
new subject for India those days. But I did
Correct.
a short course from Power Pan American Health Organization. I was teaching EIA. So when I came here, because of EIA background, I landed with Ambuja.
Mm.
And just because of EIA, MD Narotam Sexaria of Ambuja, he selected me. I did good work 18 years. In fact, all the growth of Ambuja cement from zero point 0.7 million to 22.5 million ton was during that tenure when I was there. I was responsible for clearances, monitoring, management, everything for them. Then I was fed up because there was not much to do in cement industry. And when I want to start sustainability reporting, because I was a committee member of CII, there was a SIDA money available for sustainability. But in 2004, Ambuja was not ready for that. And 2008, I joined Jubilant Life Sciences. Coming from inorganic chemistry of cement to organic chemistry of farm,
Pharma. Yes.
from air pollution to water pollution. If you see sustainability report of those years, 9, 10, 11, 12, I was
Hmm.
very successful at Jubilant also.
Great.
Then again, when I commented certain things that these are wrong in Jubilant, and
Hmm.
Mr. MD was not happy with that, we set up a board level committee on sustainability at Jubilant Life Sciences. Then I told him that you will not see me in next board meeting. As I told you before that, I am a short-tempered gentleman.
Hmm.
I resigned from Jubilant. It's a new journey, Tata Power.
Hmm.
So 18 years roughly with Ambuja, 6 years with UNDP, 3 years with Jubilant, and last 3 years with Tata. Tata Power
Amazing.
also, if you see the sustainability report of 12, 13, 14, 15, you know, you will see the difference between these 3 years. Tata Power, we interviewed all the senior people to find out what is their role, what is their knowledge about on sustainability. We were first, means the Tata Power, to report on IG targets on biodiversity.
Hmm.
Nobody in India has reported till that date and till today also. So by chance, I was very successful. And for younger generation, I will suggest if you want to move. Yesterday there was an interview by 4 School of Management students. And I
Hmm.
told this word. They were asking me, what do you think? What type of knowledge is required for a CSO? So CSO is not a subject available outside that you just go and buy. Even if you
Hmm.
go to Cambridge and do a course on sustainability, it is not that they will train you into sustainability. So I told them sustainability is not an skill, it's an attitude. And you have
Hmm.
to bring it inside you, you have to bring inside your each and every member of your family of the industry, as well as initiate those things. And certain example, basically, I discussed with them. And what is knowledge required? If you see from my journey of about 4 decades, I started career as an environmental engineer. Then later on, I realized that I am the new one in Ambuja Cement. I have to learn something about safety, occupational health. I learned that without any knowledge, working knowledge only was required, and I learned from my own experiences, from my own failures, from my own learnings. Because between me and MD, there was nobody in between those days in 1990.
Hmm. Hmm.
From EHS to occupational health to safety, then CSR. Then I realized biodiversity is very important for us because of the UN background. I did some work on biodiversity, which is visible in my things. And later on, so-called sustainability. This came on with me because I was a member of GRI G2 group,
Hmm.
G3, then G4 remuneration group. Roughly 13, 14 years I was associated with this from
Great.
2003 to 2015, I think. So this was the journey. Today, the problem is that everybody who is without job, with little knowledge, is a consultant in sustainability. He is not aware what is sustainability, ESG, but he is writing cars ESG expert.
Correct.
This is what me.
Great, sir. Sir, you have also seen the entire evolution happening in the industry from your own experience, where it was just from a CSR initiatives within the organization to a structured ESG framework. How do you see ESG shaping corporate strategy in India, sir, today?
Basically, if we have to work on sustainability, I will say one more thing before we start this. You are using the word sustain ESG, but I will use the word sustainability. And what is the difference? Later on, I will let you. Sustainability strategy, if industry has to do something, they must amalgate with their own company strategy,
Hmm.
which is not the case in India. Sustainability is different in Philips Netherlands, and
Hmm.
sustainability is nothing in Philips India. Philips India, if you take the case, they are buying something from China, stamping it and selling. I think this is my little knowledge. Secondly, they are not writing any sustainability report in India. Thirdly, they are not writing on BSR because they are not the Indian identity. These are
Indeed.
the problems with so-called MNCs. When Sunita Narayan filed a case against Coca-Cola or which is
Hindustan
the other
Coca-Cola, which is
one more company
HCC,
there, Pepsi.
Pepsi,
That
Pepsi.
time they Coca-Cola mentioned that quality of the Indian water is bad.
Hmm.
And my answer for that is if the quality of the water is bad, you must treat the water first up to that standard which you are then giving in US and then supply. So this is a dual thing about so-called standards, sustainability, environment, and other things. Indian industry, you're coming back to strategy. Indian companies basically are not for sustainability, and that was the reason. When we were promoting GRI, we
Hmm.
means GRI and we as a member of the GRI committees. I had a discussion with Dr. J.J. Irani also that we should do it in all the Tata industry. That time I was not with Tata. But Indians were not ready, or Indian corporates were not ready, and that is the reason dilution came from SEBI as BRSR. Earlier it was BRR.
Yeah.
If you have little knowledge about the Indian legislation, when Kamal Nath was the environmental minister in 1994, I think, he introduced environmental audit notification that each and every industry has to submit an audit to the ministry. Which industry? Those who have consent. So small, medium, all will come into that, and large certainly. So with that, they were little worried. Who will do the audit? Chartered accountants were very happy. They thought as if they will do the audit. Environmental engineers were happy that we will got job as a auditor also.
Auditor.
But when everybody was criticized, they changed it to the statement,
Hmm.
environmental statement. An environmental statement is supposed to have a three-year data, present, previous, 2 years.
And future.
And the purpose was to see if my water consumption is X in first year, X2 in second year, and Y 3 year, Y is less and Y is more.
Hmm.
But when we used to submit, I was with Ambuja when I used to go to Gandhinagar, which was the best board those days under first Mr. Salonia's member secretary leadership. Environmental engineers will say, why you give such a big report of environmental audit. They used to file it in the report, and since 94 till today, not even a single state pollution control board, neither capable of reading environmental statement nor reading, they are just filing.
Finally.
Same is happening in SABI. If they permit me and to see, I think they are just filing it. Why
Hmm.
this paperwork? And industry feels very happy now. Industry was diluting sustainability reporting from GRI to IR because there was only 5, 6 inputs. You give the small figure on that, nobody can read it. And you use diplomatic language also for that. And BRR was another dilution, and BRSR is totally diluted sustainability.
So,
So Indian corporates are not serious about sustainability. And now I'm coming to your part of sustainability and ESG.
hmm.
Sustainable development is for the industry. It is same environmental, social government, environmental,
Social
economic, and
terms.
social with governance into it. And same is ESG. But ESG is for rating industry. ESG is for bankers. ESG is for investment energy, where they must invest the money of the people. So each and every corporate today in India, those who are writing sustainability report, they convert it into ESG report. But I don't think ESG is important for industry. Sustainability is important.
Is important. Correct. So, how did Tata Power embed sustainability into its core business, sir? Was there any turning point, or was there any shift what you witnessed from good to do to business critical initiatives?
See, when I joined Tata Power, certainly they were reporting. The report was not up to my mark. Maybe we were a little bit lacking about the right people in the department. So we appointed some people. We did a survey of the industry, we did training, we set up a corporate sustainability committee. Without that, not even anybody can do the reporting, basically. There were two members from each department, one senior head, one junior, so that if we need any information like from HR, we should write to them and get. This all happened in 3 years,
Hmm.
12, 13, 14. 15th March, April, I was superannuated. It was wonderful years.
Hmm.
We could do some good work, which is visible in the report, those who want to. Problem in this country, nobody reads report. Not
Hmm.
even the senior officers of the same organization also. And that was the purpose of the second year I did a study to find out what is the knowledge of sustainability within our departmental heads. No, companies are not serious about sustainability. Companies are serious about money making. We are doing CSR work because we are spending 2% because there is a legislation.
Hmm.
Sustainability, we don't have a legislation. You know,
Correct.
we keep on extending the things like net zero, for example. Why 2070 is a target? I don't know whether we means as a world, we will survive in 2070. This year's or last year summer and this year rainy season. This is the best example that our climate is changing.
Changing.
We have to manage this unmanageable thing, but we are not managing. We
So,
are
what
very
role?
short memory people, COVID gone and we forgot about hygiene. Go ahead.
What role did regulators play in this entire acceleration journey, sir? Do you see SEBI or the guidelines which has been framed under BRS are accelerating some amount of sustainability uh, and embedding it into the organizations, or it's more of a process standpoint?
The name of the ministry was Ministry of Environment and Forest. When suddenly the climate change came, they changed the
Mm,
name to MOEFCC. They are not doing any work for that CC. I think
mm,
that CC is just right on the table of somebody's wall. Even energy conservation, though they have a very nice building now under Jairam Ramesh leadership. But what initiative we should take for the conservation of further energy in the room? I don't think there are any initiative by the ministry. Same thing with BRSR. Do they have a department to look into these reports? Have they published that this year they received 500 reports? One, two, three, four, five. This is the ranking, and why this is the ranking, why this industry is good, and why that industry is not good. Sustainability framework like GRI, for example, it was to match with the apple to the orange, like a
mm.
hotel industry with the cement industry, for example.
Got
That type of studies neither management institutes are doing. They should give these reports to even management institutes, students, study that. And they can create maybe 20 PhDs from SEBI. They need some people like us who can come and guide them. And they should develop that department basically. So I don't think this is changing any scenario of Indian industry because of SEBI.
it.
Everybody is having 9 policies hanging in their rooms, hanging in MD's room, putting them into sustainability report. But every year, do we need to put these policies in the report again and again?
Mm.
Sustainability report should not be more than 15, 20 pages, but it should have all good things in there. If a
Got
company entry, not that I will say that I don't like when sun is on. So means
it.
after sunset, I will just lie things with
Mm. So, were there any ground level initiatives what you can recollect from your experience, which had a huge impact across the organization? Because there's one top down approach and a bottom up approach, but you have seen both the trajectories. So anything which intersected in between where the management wanted something to happen and it was adopted across the organization at all levels?
you. I will give you one case about Jubilant Life Sciences.
Yes.
Very first year when I joined, there was a Section 5 notice issued from the Ministry of Environment and Forest.
Mm.
Management might take it slowly, but my job was to finish it as early as possible. Remove this red mark from the files.
Mm.
There were about 28 lagoons which were dismantled. Land was restored. So something like that was done at the cost of the company, and it was having impact on the groundwater. All those problems were solved. But when I joined, there was a very small thing. As I mentioned, sustainability is not an skill, it's an attitude. If you
Mm.
remember when we started, my drapes were on, and I was thinking not to use light, so that this is pollution control at source, whatever little energy we can save and all.
Save.
My
Yes.
this house is about 2,200 square feet. It is cooled by just one air conditioner. We have double doors here, so that when the outside temperature is 42, we have about 6, 7 degrees less inside. Okay?
Mm.
So when I joined Jubilant Life Sciences, I realized everybody is using enough energy. There are 3 blocks in that office. So with the help of the administration department, we discussed, we decided what we should do. Each room has 6 tube lights with one switch, two tube lights together. So we suggested to little bit loosen the tube lights so that when you use six, only three are on.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Then we suggested everybody requested that not to use the vertical blinds like these doors. Keep it open. If you're working late, you feel it is dark, use it. If you need a lamp, we will provide you. You will surprise with those 3 blocks. Roughly, we used to save 50 lakhs rupees per annum.
Mm.
It is already reported in report. You can see there was a waste from molybdenum, which from Gajrala unit, which we used to export to Netherlands about 15 lakhs. So I used to say that I am not a liability to the company. But what
Mm.
I'm trying to say, we have to see what is important for us. Drum we use, for example, for our as a dustbin house. Things are changing in India, but the change is a very slow process like family planning. You have to knock every day environment.
Correct.
Things are changing. If the same thing, a similar story is there for Tata also. We were
Mm.
having a canteen in Karnak office. There are about 400 people coming having lunch there. eh. They used to have a very big glass full of water. So when some people will go take a sip, leave it. You use 2 liter water before for washing the glass, 2 liter after washing the glass, and this much wasted. So I suggested, which we discussed yesterday with 4 Institute also, that keep a jug on each and every table and put a mark there. Please drink as much as you can because
Can.
it's a mineral water. But tomorrow, when you purchase glasses, go for a small one
Small one.
so that water is keep on pouring. You drink as much as you can. So these small steps, water conservation, energy conservation, and third thing, Swachh Bharat. Maybe I will tell you it afterward. These 3 things are very important for sustainability.
Correct.
Why Swachh Bharat? Because littering, pollution control at source, segregation of waste, waste minimization, waste utilization, and your 7 hours, everything comes from your so-called Swachh Bharat initiatives. And that is the reason I support Swachh Bharat and I go to primary, secondary schools and give lectures to them. What we should do as an individual to keep our country clean, because only Modi ji cannot keep it.
It has to be both the ways, sir, like
Yes.
top down as well
And
as bottom.
younger generation is one which is going to tell their parents also, no, don't do it.
Correct.
That is another reason of going to these schools. And CSR activity of each and every organization must work for Swachh Bharat. We should make sure that this country is as clean as Europe or America.
Definitely, sir. And is there some shift that you see that leaders have to take individually, as you rightly said? There's one way where you instill this knowledge, instill the skills into the young children. In an organization standpoint, how do you embed it into the leaders? How do you embed it into the junior management? Because it has to get activated from the top management and it has to percolate till the last person on the hierarchy. So how can such a thing get into it? So,
You are much younger, early 90s, ISO culture was started. And
yes.
it started with ISO 9000 but quality.
Mhm.
Overnight industry took ISO 9001 because it was for quality and it
Hmm.
was a requirement for your export. BI used to give certification. It was very easy to get from BIS, and now there are many consultants who will give it for 5,000 rupees also. There's a shop in Noida, hair salon, and even he is ISO 9000 certified. So this is the way the standard has come down. But certainly willingness was coming from the top leader. MD say I want is in 15 days time. So when
Hmm.
he says 50 days, maybe 30 days, it will be available. Same thing was for ISO 14,000. We have forgotten ISO 14,000 now in industry, but ISO 14,000 is also very important for sustainability because keeping garbage, for example, waste and those type of things are very good in that. And that was a culture started with the policy writing, which is BRSR is doing now. Certainly, without leadership, you cannot. Two leaderships are required: a very good CSO or sustainability in charge. The problem in this country today, the people who are looking after sustainability, they are from corporate communication or from HR or from admin without having any knowledge what is BOD, what is hazardous waste, or what is co-processing in cement industry, and they are looking after sustainability. So ultimately, it is a dilution. Many organizations, you know,
And
most of these big groups are without a sustainability person. The case
and
is
how,
different in Europe. Sorry, you were
correct.
saying something.
So how do you also, one is the management and one is the junior folks in the organization. How do you navigate across different department and functional heads? Because you can't work as an individual, because any large organization also, you see sustainability teams would be very lean team. But when you're building a report or when you're speaking about sustainability, it has to be a cohesive thing across all functions, across all geographies. So how do you navigate the horizontal hierarchy?
If you remember the first when question you were asking, I suggest told you that in Jubilant also, in Tata also, we created a corporate sustainability committee.
Hmm.
It was all the 9, 10 big main departments, there were two person from each. So if I need the information from HR, for example, that how many hours you have given for training to the each and every employee, information used to come as well, JRI indicators on that. This is very important. Then did sustainability training in each and every unit and each and every office also.
Hmm.
Depending upon, like for senior people, it was half an hour, 45 minutes. For junior people, it was one and a half hour. This is the way you can navigate, and we can do it also. Role of knowledge of the sustainability officer, the willingness of the MD, as well as pushing both of us in the department is that combined effort. And somehow, when people saw the good results, they came forward. But certainly a younger man, for example, an environmental engineer with 5 years experience, if in charge of the sustainability, he cannot go to MD that I would like to do a training tomorrow. Please give me time when you are available. You need a senior person, which is missing.
And you also brought in Netherlands and Europe in your conversation earlier, saying that it's a matured market there, and organizations are built, and the sustainability world word is embedded into each individual there. So what would you say, how different is it in emerging markets like India and Southeast Asia for uh, the same? And how long would we need, and what are the initiatives what organizations can take to at least mature enough to a certain level?
India was the emerging market for sustainability maybe in early 2010, 12, those type of years. But now we are not emerging market. We
Hmm.
must compete with the UK or US. The
Correct.
reason is recently, for example, the Trump said we will not buy medicines from India. They cannot stop it because we are producing medicines for Europe also and for US also. Why they are not producing? Because this is very hazardous in nature. Waste treatment is not easy. So if you go to near any farm industry, you will see. And they have developed a tool like sustainability, PSCI, Pharmaceutical Supply Chain Initiative. And each and everybody who is supplying to them has to fulfill PSCI.
Hmm.
After supervision from Tata Power, I used to do some audit for PSCI. And I realized that most of our pharma industry, because they are medium enterprises, are lacking in that. But ultimately, Europe is buying from here.
Hmm.
I don't know whether they are improving or not. But every industry should go for PSCI audit and improve further for good business also, for keeping good environment in our country also. But that willingness is not there. We file income tax because there's a tax deducted at source.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we will also behave like a businessman and we will not give income tax.
True.
Yesterday, there was a cut in GST, but I think
Hmm.
medium people, middle class people, we were neither happy nor dishappy because it's okay. We are
Hmm.
paying high also when it was high. We'll pay low now when it is low. We are the people who are not getting any advantage of the government, basically. But we are happy.
True. Sir, again, when it comes to the GST topic, what you just mentioned, and your experience at Tata Power, so what is your future initiatives in the industry? What you are bullish about? Is it the EV charging infra, distributed solar, or microgrids? What do you see is the bullish bet? What you would have bet on for the clean energy initiative?
Clean energy or initiatives by a simple person like Tata Power or a me or a buyer or a seller is not one decision going to make the world change.
Hmm.
We have to think in all the four directions. People who are producing energy, they must change for greener tomorrow. Those of us who are utilizing, we must make sure that yes, we have a charging station to buy for a EV car and charge it also, use it also. Same time, government must work with some industry people to find out how will we produce the batteries. And
Hmm.
then we need someone who will suggest how we should discard the batteries.
Discard the back.
It has to come from all the four sides, or maybe more also. We have legislation. There will be one more tomorrow for lithium battery disposal also. But
Hmm.
what we have done, Air Pollution Act is 1981. After more than 4 decades, the air is polluted. Just wait for 1 month after Diwali, we will not be able to go out. Air Water Act is 1974. It's about 5 decades. Our each and every river is polluted. You cannot take a dip. North Indian usually go. Sorry for my wordings. Once the Pandit suggests, they know after that you must further that you must go and take a dip into Holy Ganga. Person like me even will do only 4 drops and head. I will never take it there. We have Environmental Protection Act. We have even not able to decide what we should do with the survivors of Bhopal or those who died in Bhopal tragedy. We have biological waste treatment, biomedical waste. You see, biomedical waste is lying all over the roads. We have Swachh Bharat Sarvekshan. Just go in any city, you will see, no, it is not Swachh, but they are number one because you have just used 5 kilometer area. How this will happen when each and out of 135 million, I'm not counting 10, maybe small kids, but unless 65 million people will make sure today that I'm going to teach one person tomorrow how you should behave. And those behave should have 10 points like we'll wash hand before food. We will cover our mouth if I am not well so the others are safe. We will not dispose, we will not deter, but you will see even people like you and me are littering on the roads. And why we are not segregating the garbage? Because person like you, maybe I will say middle class, you are a higher class person. Person like us will not spend 200 rupees on disposal of waste. We will smoke for 500 rupees a day. We will drink for 2000 rupees a day. But 200 rupees per month, we will not utilize or waste on garbage disposal. Secondly, the garbage disposal bags available in India, keeping micron sizes so bad that by the time you throw, they are total. We should use high density ones so that it can go up to the destination and they must recycle it there. Earlier you asked the minister is lacking. You need a dynamic minister or you need 10 person like Abhimanyu Saxena sitting next to minister, like Prime Minister is doing very well because he has some good advisors. But why Ministry of Environment is not doing good? They must close five industry and six one will behave without pollution.
So, what's your stake on technology getting involved into this entire journey, sir? Do you think it can bridge the gap, or do you feel it's a burden onto the people who are having certain KPIs within their own organization? What do you see as a technology getting into it?
Technology plays a major role. If you see, before 90s, cement industry was very polluted. And in 90s, when Ambuja Cement came into existence and they installed the glass bag house, every minute, if you are emitting 30 to 60 kg of cement into the atmosphere, today it might be about 400 rupees per bag, roughly. So technology is available, your willingness is required, and pollution prevention always pays. Three. Where it is not involved, basically, like distillery, because it is difficult to bring the BOD down. Sugar industry, because it is in cooperative sector. Hmm. But time has come. We must look. Maybe Bajaj Sugar is doing good, but not a cooperative industry in any other state is doing. Technology is available. We have to utilize technology. When you were not born, there was a mercury cell technology to produce caustic soda. When I was born, now membrane cell technology is available. Mercury is totally removed from caustic industry. Why we have to do it with legislation? One basic example more I will give you. You have seen the rock garden in Bangalore. Why I'm saying rock garden? The way they are constructing the apartments. There's no green belt in between the two. People sitting in the ministry, they have 10 more persons deciding the case when they are coming for the clearances here, not thinking that in a building with 22 floors, 80 apartments, whether two lifts will work of this size, or you should have a service lift, or you should have another lift. Because those who are sitting there, either they are professors, no working knowledge, or they are government retired people, those who have worked bad throughout their life, and now they are sitting as an expert. And that is the case with NGT also.
Great, sir. So now, what I want to move on to is one of our rapid fire style of questions, where I'll quickly ask you questions and you can respond back with what comes to your mind on top of the question.
Do you think I
So,
was reading before that?
no, 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 sir. So, one misconception about ESG you'd like to bust?
ESG is not for industry. Sustainability is for us. ESG is for investors.
One book, mentor, or experience that shaped your sustainability philosophy holistically.
You have to manage yourself. Climate will ultimately be managed.
Your message to business leaders starting their ESG journey today.
Time has come, we must make sure to go beyond compliance, sustainability, or ESG will ultimately come to you.
Great, sir. Thanks for your time and really appreciate having this conversation with you. And I think you shared a lot of stories from your own personal experience, which our audience can take back and remember it throughout their life as well. And everything what you mentioned, sir, the details like simplicity, embed it into your attitude and ensure that whether you're a junior person in the organization, mid management, or top management, across all hierarchy, everybody has to think about sustainability. That's when the organization would be sustainable, and that's when the country would be sustainable on the large. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for your
Thank you
time.
very much. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thank you.
कट कर दिया आपने? How was that?
Suggest.